I was about 10 years old, and we were members of St. Martin Parish, and they would have a 5 o'clock mass here in this chapel. And at the same time, the Archdiocese decided that they were going to allow girls to be altar servers. So I was in that first crew of girls at 10 years old, and I would serve Mass right here in this chapel. And most of the congregation were the nuns who lived here. And so that's probably my first memory, is being with the sisters during Mass every Sunday night at 5 o'clock in this beautiful place.
The chapel was built in 1886, and the architectural drawings were done by one of our sisters, who was not an architect. But when we sent the drawings to a registered architect, the only thing he really changed was scale, minimally. You know, even though she was not an architect, she did a great job. And my sense of this building is that they waited to do it until they had the resources they needed to do it well. So they knew exactly what they wanted, and they waited to get it. So an example for me of that are the windows. They came from Holland, but the saints who are pictured are all part of our history. There's a window for St. Angela. There's one for St. Ursula. The Sacred Heart of Jesus, and this is the Sacred Heart Chapel. We were dedicated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary before we left France. So all of that was intentional. And in 1873, a man by the name of Ben Pittman came out and taught the sisters and the early students how to carve wood as an art form. And so they used those skills to do the ceiling as well as the door frames. And the wood used was from the property, as was the stone. The limestone was also quarried here. So it was a labor of love for sure. And it had a vision of these women who knew what they wanted and waited until they accomplished it and had the resources they needed.
The carvings have always amazed me because, first of all, they didn't have electricity. After doing all their work all day, how they had time to do that kind of intricate work that today, is almost a lost art. And if you had seen our smaller chapel, it had 10 times the carvings in it. The small chapel was built around, I think, 1845 at that time. The door is now part of the archives over there. And that and some other sections of wood are over there from that. But most of it was taken into smaller pieces and made into artwork for people. And most of us have some piece of wood from the small chapel.
My wife and I were married here in this chapel. And she had a great experience with the Ursulines in this school. She got her associate degree at Chatfield. She went to Xavier and graduated, and then earned her master's at the Athenaeum. So our lives came together right here in this building. And that was really a special thing to happen.